Well, first of all, the most immediate was the injury to Jaquavis Richmond from Grambling. There's he's going to have surgery. It appears that there was good news in terms of him having feeling. I am not obviously at the hospital, but we are so fortunate that he's at Our Lady of the Lakes. He's going to get great care there. So we're hoping for the very best, and our thoughts and prayers are out to he and his family, and certainly the Grambling State family. So I wanted to make sure we talked about that and paid its proper respects. The game is pale in comparison to that. For the game itself, we played the game the right way. We certainly started fast, built great momentum, came out in the third quarter, asserted our will in the third quarter, and then, finished it off, the right way. So pleased with, the way we play the game. Playing this game is, the game of football is hard, and winning's hard regardless of the competition and who you're playing. And Grambling wanted to win. They worked hard all week and practiced hard. They're well coached. I told Coach that. I think that they're a difficult team to defend. They showed that. They were very difficult early on until we had to make some adjustments, and thought we settled down. And then obviously we had 10 straight possessions with touchdowns with no punts, and that's a pretty effective and efficient way of doing things in week two. So again, played the game the way it needs to be played here at LSU, and we need to meet and exceed that standard week in and week out. So questions?
Ryan, the first three defensive drives where Grambling was able to move the ball, and there was some big plays. What do you think was maybe going on with y'all defensively in those, and then what did you do to address it the rest of the game?
Well, twice we were in dime personnel, and they ran the ball. So, you're looking to take away some things in the passing game, and you're vulnerable in the run game. We got out of dime and went into our Buffalo package, which was 4 D linemen, and that took care of that situation.
Just noticed that Mason Taylor went out early in the first half. Just where
Ankle sprain.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, Logan Diggs getting the start, and I guess how effective he was very effective. Let's talk about his game, please.
Yeah, we knew what we were getting with Logan, and he played for me at Notre Dame, and I knew what we were going to get from him. It just mattered getting him healthy. We weren't going to play him unless he felt really good, and he felt good, and he had a good week of practice. And look, you got to prepare the right way. He prepared the right way, and he was ready to play. And I think we saw the kind of back that is going to help us. And I thought Caleb brought a toughness and physicality to our running game as well. And we get John Emery back next week. We think we've added to that position where we should have a real effective running game.
I feel like you talked a lot about energy and effort last week, and on special teams, at least tonight.
Yeah.
Womack was just unbelievable. It seemed like really you guys kind of stepped it up in that regard.
Yeah, I think the effort there, the enthusiasm. I think Coach Diaco's done a really good job with the group. I think they enjoy, being part of those units. Tonight was an interesting thing. We had to change some numbers around and be careful that we didn't have duplicate numbers. But it's still about a want to and a desire to play on special teams, and I think our guys have really grasped that, and they want to be part of it. And the kickers are really good. We didn't use Jay tonight, which is a great thing, but I thought Diver probably had one of his most complete games. We asked him to do some things tonight that were a little bit different, and I thought he was on the task.
Okay. Y'all were able to shuffle in a lot of guys on the offensive line. How valuable was that with SEC coming up and nailing down the rotation?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You're always trying to, get some guys work. The key one for us tonight was Zalance Hurd at right tackle. He went in the second series. That's what we were really focused on, and getting that evaluation. So I'll look at the tape. It's hard for me to really give you a real evaluation of that until we watch it. But we know the other rotation pieces there. It'll be interesting to see how DJ fared. DJ Chester, true freshman at center as well. So it'll be interesting film to watch. But the big one for us will be Hurd at the right tackle position.
Right here, Coach. You talked about competitive edge a lot this week. I know the score reflects a good result, but I mean, kind of immediate reaction. Do you feel good about where your guys' minds were? Kind of that attention to detail that you wanted to improve on last week?
Yeah, I was. I mean, to have 10 straight possessions to score in this game, when somebody doesn't want you to score, is really hard. You have to execute at a very, very high level. That doesn't happen very often. I've been doing it for over 30 years. You have to have focus. You have to have an attention to detail. You have to have playmakers. You have to have guys making good choices, good decisions. Very few penalties, miscues, with that first unit in particular. Yeah, I mean, look, are there things that we have to do better? Absolutely. And the competition picks up. So I'm not going to leave here going, hey, we've got this thing figured out. I mean, the competition is going to be steep. We're going to go on the road. We got to tackle better on defense. We missed too many tackles. And we've got to continue to develop the players. You saw first-time starters out there again tonight. Denver Harris is a first-time, starter for us. You saw Ashton Stamps out there for the first time. These guys are going to have to play key roles for us. And, you saw, Harold Perkins in a new position again. So, there's still a lot of work to be done.
Coach, right here, you mentioned Denver Harris. What has he done over the last week or two to sort of, I don't say earn your trust, but like earn that starting role?
Yeah, I think that's probably a good use of words. I don't know if he's got there yet. He's working on it. He's making progress. There's a lot of work to be done, but I'm not going to put a guy on the field unless he is committed to our process. He is not there yet, but I don't know if there's any one guy I can say in our program has got it down yet. But he is committed to it. So if you're committed to it, we're going to work with you. It's the guys that are not committed to it, the guys that don't want to do the little things the right way, that we're going to let you figure it out, and we'll let you figure it out watching. He tried that. He didn't like watching. So he's doing a good job.
Hey, Coach, you talked about giving Chris Hilton more playing time this week. Is he perhaps one of your faster receivers that can stretch the defense like he did on that play tonight? And just some comments about the other receivers who got drops last week that caught the ball tonight.
Yeah, it's another week, right? I mean, certainly the previous week, those guys were reminded all week about, what they didn't do. So, they were certainly wanting another opportunity. But as it relates to Chris, I think where Chris is that he does not want to be the guy that stretches the field. He wants to be a complete wide receiver. And he does have speed. There's no doubt about that. You're absolutely right. And I'm not saying that he can't do that for us, but he wants to do much more. And for him to be on the field, he's got to catch the ball consistently. And that's where he's making the biggest strides. He's been a much more consistent ball catcher in practice. He's been more consistent. He had a great week of practice. He was not feeling well. He was actually sick this week, and he did not miss a practice. So we're seeing that kind of sandpaper, grit, because as you remember, with Chris, we lost him quite a bit last year to injury. And, we're seeing the growth of a receiver that's going to be able to help us this year. The other guys, yeah, they took that and saw that they needed to really work on that, and I thought their focus was much better this week.
Coach, so Jaden Daniels had a really good first half, 5 touchdown passes in the first half, looked pretty comfortable in the offense. what are your thoughts on how he performed tonight?
You know, it's hard to take issue with, 5 touchdown passes, but I would say that in the huddle, and when I say the huddle, I mean Jaden, myself, Mike Denbrock, Joe Sloan. We would say that he left some throws out there that we need to get better at. So we're pleased. We're not going to walk away here and be ungrateful for the things that we accomplished, but we have some work to do.
Coach, last year in week 2 it was Southern. This year, obviously, Grambling. What does it mean to you to be at the helm for the history that was made, in both of those games by bringing these teams together in Tiger Stadium for the first time?
Yeah, I'm excited to be the head coach at LSU, and in particular with these type of games. They're historic. To have 2 in-state HBCU schools and one from Baton Rouge and the other one to have the history and tradition of Grambling. Look, I mean, you're always, there'll be that day when I'm sitting on the beach and reading the book, and this will be a great chapter in the book to play these 2 teams because they're historic in that sense. And so I'm glad that I've been given that opportunity to be part of these games. All right, thank you.